Hey everyone, my name is Jermaine and welcome back to the Reading Room for Kids. I'm so glad to have you here. Let's dive into another wonderful story. And today's book is called Curious George, Sweet Surprise. This is George and his friend, the man with the yellow hat. George was a good little monkey and always very curious. It was a very important day. The man with the yellow hat was getting a community service award. Don't forget, we're celebrating later. George couldn't wait to celebrate too. Don't make any messes while I'm gone, George. George watched the man through the window. He could make the man a gift to celebrate his big day. George began to look through all his art supplies to get started, but George was all out of paper. George knew the man kept extra paper in his office, but where? It wasn't in the drawers or on the shelves, but George did find something interesting. The birthday card George had made for the man. George loved birthdays. His favorite part was getting to eat cake. Cakes were great for celebrations. George could make a cake for the man. George looked at cake after cake. Too boring. Not boring enough. Just right. George checked the recipe. First, George needed to get the ingredients. Phew, that was a close one. Next, George needed a bowl. Too small, too big, just right. George checked the recipe again. He was ready to get started. George mashed the butter with a spoon. George reached for the sugar. He measured carefully, 1 full cup. Oh no, that wasn't sugar. It was salt. George was upset. The man's cake was ruined. Then George remembered what the man always told him. We all make mistakes, George. The important thing is to try again. This time George knew just what to do. He started from the beginning. That tasted much better. George searched the counter. Where were those eggs? Aha, got them. George thought the eggs looked like little balls. This reminded him of a fun party. His favorite part was the juggler. George wanted to juggle too. Splat! George looked at the mess. He remembered what the man said. When you make a mess, you have to clean it up. George counted the eggs in the recipe. Phew, just enough. George was confused. It was time to add the flour. Where had he put the measuring cup? Oh, there it was. George checked the batter. It smelled good, but it looked too plain. George needed something that would make the cake more exciting. Yum! George loved sprinkles. He knew the man liked sprinkles too. A dash of color. Perfect. George thought about other things the man liked. He decided to put in all the man's favorite foods. Now his cake will be perfect. George was ready to mix everything up. This was his favorite part. Whoa, too fast, too fast. Finally, the batter looked ready to bake. George reached for the oven, but remembered he wasn't allowed to use the oven by himself. George was stumped. What was he going to do now? George, I'm home, and I brought a cake for us to celebrate. Did you do this for me? Need some help, George? How about I put this cake in the oven, and we can eat this one while we wait? Cake was the perfect way to celebrate. And that is the end of this story. I hope you enjoyed it, and I'll see you for the next one.